got a question for y'all, because y'all both now, this is your reality. Has losing a parent changed your perspective? And T, you've lost your father young,
Right.
and we've always seen this brash bravado. I don't give a fuck.
Right.
Do you think that came from that?
For sure.
Okay.
For sure it came from that. So it's like I said before, the structure. Once you lose that structure and it's like on you, you have to like carry a certain I don't give a fuck. Because there's no structure to make you give a fuck. So yeah, it definitely plays a huge part in that. Yeah, it definitely plays a huge part.
Do you feel like since you lost your mother, you've blossomed into
Something different.
not even something different? Do you feel like you've blossomed and opened up a little bit more, and opened up a lot of different areas that once was shuttered?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I don't think I fully like bloomed. Like, I think it's always been there. I just think it's been like dampened and hampered, for fears and exactly how I need to be producing myself because of how I would think my mother would, what she would think of me if I didn't.
Right.
But I don't think that I have fully let the lid loose.
Right.
And I don't think I fully have tapped into. I feel it brewing, but I haven't like fully let the lid loose yet. And maybe it'll get there one day, maybe soon, maybe it won't. Like for some time, but
It's kind of like an eerie, like alliteration, right? Asking that type of question, but it also feels like a liberation. Like I sit back and I see y'all, right? And especially T, I've known him since I was 10 years old.
Right.
Just this, like the liberation that comes from you just saying what you want to say. You do what you want to do. You go about it however you go about it. What drives that?
It used to be like chasing a ghost. It used to be like trying to live up to who my father was, and like that was the number one thing. Cause it's like I'm a junior, so it's double the pressure. So it's double the pressure. So it's like you a junior. It's like you gotta be what your father was. It's like that was a thing. Like that was a thing. So it was like chasing the ghost of trying to be what my father was, and then it was like, can you pass your father? Like, can you be better than what your father was? And then now it's like you gotta separate yourself from what that was. So now you have to live in your individuality of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is a thing.
I'm gonna set the stage for y'all real quick. Every morning, 6 o'clock, I used to call my mom. Every day, every morning, 6 a.m. on my ride to work. She would set my day for me,
Energy wise.
energy wise. She would set my day for me. If it was shit going on, she would talk me through it. She would direct me through it. If I was off a little bit, she would get me back on track. If I was in my fuck this, she would get me settled. So imagine not having that
Right.
and the feeling of emptiness right now, right? Because now I'm going off of pure fuckery.
Right.
Pure ish fuckery. Because there's no mom.
Killer Ish is back.
Right. It's no mom to guide
Right.
my day, my days,
Right.
or me for that matter.
Right.
So yeah, I definitely like am feeling somewhat lost,
Right.
feeling like, is it have you ever not known if it's okay to be you?
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm experiencing right now.
That's what I was saying though. It's the structure of things. That's what she's speaking to, the
Yeah.
structure of it. So it's like when I was a young boy, I had to be in the house by a certain time. I had to sit down and do my homework first. All these things was in place when I lived with my dad. So once you take that out of place, now I have that I don't give a fuck shit because I can basically do whatever fuck I want to do, whatever I want to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's why, like, you call us the
BD
NFL.
couch.
Yeah. Because we had that structure was there, and
It's not there.
it's been there for all of our lives up until now. Even for me, it's still there, where you have that pillar of structure that you got that winged you right back in, and or I don't want to disappoint, so I'm not going to do something that's going to go off kilter and disappoint them. Yeah, it's a thing. But as you sit back and you look at it, you said something important. You said I tried to live up to that, but now can I be better?
Right.
And I'm finding myself on that path now, right? Trying to live up to, oh, can I show my dad that I made something out myself without him?
Right.
And now that I have him, I'm still showing him that, yo, I'm good, Dad. But now I got to show myself that I'm better than that,
Right.
and I'm better than him. And it's not no disrespect to
Right.
him. It's got to be, I need to take charge and get out of the shadow.
Right.
I got to cast my own shadow, because if I don't, then I'm only just going to be Roosevelt's son and not Darnell. And individuality, plays a vital role in our lives, because if we don't have individuality, we sit back and we try to be people pleasers, and the people that we're trying to please, we should be trying to please them, showing them what we made of our own self. But far too often do we fall into this thing and lose ourselves in a sense, or forget to find our true selves because
Right.
we're trying to appease.
That's the part that I'll be trying to get, like, not only across to y'all but just to people in general. So it's like when you live in that stage or in that aspect of BD, it's like everybody's there's no individuality in that. It's like everybody's the same in this place because we're all doing these things to appease each other instead of being who we naturally are. That's the point of it.
Yeah.
I don't do it to please everybody else.
Right.
I do it to please, like, my parents,
Right.
right? But yeah, and that's why I think I always lash out at people or the congregation or just people in general that perform for social media or needing to chuck and jive just to get a couple likes or a couple hearts, because it's a false and fake reality. Because we spend our lives trying to do all these things to get likes and hearts when we haven't even we're not really truly living life.
Right.
And until you take the shackles off, you're not really free. You're not really you until you've actually experienced what freedom looks like.
Thanks.
Not are you not only free, it's like if you go buy X, Y, and Z, are you gonna go buy that because you like it, or are you gonna go buy that because society says this is the thing that you should have?
But you're locked behind those societal walls.
Right.
So that's where you're really not. You really haven't experienced freedom.
Or society says this what success is. Like, do you really want this, or do you want this because that's what society
Yeah.
says?
Or society says you have to be this and you have to look this way. You
Right.
got to do this and you got to be that nutrient and this. And it's like, when are you going to have your individuality? When are you going to shine through what everybody else says that you should be, or even what you think that's acceptable to everybody else?
Right. Now, I want to circle back real quick on like the statement that you just made when you were like, we're really not doing it to. Well, you said I'm really not
Yeah.
doing it to please other people. Excuse me, I'm doing it for like the
Parents.
and excuse me, how we should behave, how we should act, etc. And I agree with you 110%. But I think too, we're a lot alike in that, and like even in past episodes, we've gone toe to toe with one another. We've
sure.
had a passion, and we've had that moment of not rage, but just moment of passion where we're like, we don't have no tolerance for the bullshit.
Right.
Like that's just you probably don't either, but I see it a lot in me and
Me and
you.
yes.
And I think too it's because of the pleasing aspect of our mother and your mother and father or your loved ones, etc. And how we have to be contained in a sense in certain ways that when it comes to certain things or certain people say something, it's triggering to us, and we lash out or we become passionate because our voices have to be heard. We have to get our point across in certain forums because we're not able to always do it in other forums. And I don't want to speak for you in any way, shape, or form, but I know
Because
that
it's the
kind of
respect.
correlates.
Yeah, it's
with me.
because you can't go back and forth in some instances over. You got to have the
Facts.
respect level, but yet and still, you still are an individual that have feelings towards a certain thing, and that's why I said liberation. It seems to have. When I look at y'all, I say, damn, they don't give a fuck, right? I can't talk about Gucci, right? I can't talk about people ugly
Right.
and they dumb. I would not dare. But I see how y'all are so free and liberated, right? And I'm liberated and I'm free, to a certain
an
extent,
extent.
because that's just me. But everybody has their own thing.
I mean,
But
I get it. Like, I get it. Like, I get it to a certain point. So it's like your parents instill that in you. Your parents instill that in you ever since you're a little kid. Like, be mindful, and shit like that. Like, but like I tell y'all all the time, ever since I was like 6 years old, I used to be like, I can't wait till I get grown so I could do and say whatever the fuck I want to do. And now that I'm grown, I'm not going to cartel myself for nobody.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
no,
don't care
yeah.
if it's my own children. I don't care if it's my mother. I don't care who it is. I'm grown now. You're not gonna muzzle me. Like,
Light bulb comes on light bulb comes on in each person's room at a certain time, and again, I use this platform that we've created as a form of therapeutic remedies and therapeutic you know things that will help us get through what we get through. Like I use these forums as a way of getting out my passion, my truth, my inabilities, the things that I've learned, the experiences that I've experienced. So it allows me now
just speak.
to put that aside and say, you know what, I can't. That shit. That's no more.
Right.
I gotta speak, and if I don't speak, I'm only gonna hurt myself. And I
Right.
gotta let people know where I'm coming from. But I can let people know where I'm coming from in a mature, reasonable fashion, right? I don't have to scream it because they're not gonna listen to it when I'm screaming. They already told me. But
I don't like these passionate parts. So it's like,
just say what the fuck you gotta say.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
It's like-
but people muzzle you because they don't want to hear what you gotta say because they're
right,
not ready for it.
right.
Right.
But I feel like, so it's like, if we're having a conversation, right, we can have a conversation and we can use our vocabulary and we can not curse. Oh, back to the individual part. My individuality, sometimes I like cursing.
And I like saying suck my dick.
Right.
Not to say not that I'm saying I'm disrespecting you.
I
but
can't
that's-
say it, so you say it.
I want to suck my dick.
You know what I mean?
Suck my dick. Wait. They said
Chill,
I wasn't.
chill,
yeah, but they
chill.
said I wasn't forceful enough. I didn't give it enough oomph. Suck my dick. I was practicing it. Too.
That's beautiful.
That motherfucker's crazy. But I love when people realize and see what the truth is instead of hiding behind these
Right.
that bullshit. It ain't what you said, it's how you say it. Motherfucker, is what I said.
Right.
You ain't like what I said. So now you hiding behind because my voice was elevated a little bit louder than what it normally is when we having a conversation. All right, fuck all that. Was you listening?
Fact.
Right? Oh, you said a curse word or you said this, so I stopped listening. Why? Why? because you chose not to. So I'm not going to hide behind that no more, because I do myself an injustice and I do the other person injustice of knowing what it is, what we're going through. But I love when I look at y'all and we all learn from each other, right? You said you pull from us,
Yeah.
pull from me, pull from T. I pull from y'all.
Right, we all do.
We all pull from each other because we see things in each other that we don't have, and we strive with that, or we see things that they're going through, and we can allow that to drive us to get to that point whenever we're at that point.
Right.
You know.
I mean, that's why I say it's all it built in, your individual thing. So it's like, be who you are. Like, be who you are. Speak who you are. Speak how you want to speak. This is the safe space for you to do that. I get that those things, and I think that that's a grown up thing, like a maturity thing with people. So it's like some people you can't curse at them. It hurt their feelings, like shit like that. It's like I didn't grow up like that. My mom cursed at me. If somebody curses at me, that's not gonna hurt my fucking feelings.
That's why I say we can scream at each other all day long. I'm not going to fucking will her away.
Facts.
I'm like, all right, I understood, I heard you.
Right? Everybody's not built that way, and I understand that.
So,
It is what it is, man.